No plans to remove Andrew from line of succession after losing royal titles, government says. Welcome back, royal watchers, to Crown Chronicles, the channel where we peel back the velvet curtain and bring you the most gripping, surprising, and revealing stories from inside the House of Windsor. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, and join our community of royal insiders, because today's episode exposes a truth so unexpected and controversial that it has the entire nation talking. The government has finally spoken on a question millions have been asking for years: why is Prince Andrew still in the line of succession? And why is no one planning to remove him? The answer, as it turns out, is far more complicated, and far more fascinating, than most people ever imagined. You would think that after Prince Andrew's spectacular fall from royal grace, public fallout, scandal, the loss of his military titles, the stripping of his HRH status, and his near-complete disappearance from royal life, that the monarchy or government would have taken steps to distance the institution from him entirely. In the eyes of many, Andrew's public role ended in 2019. His image, once polished and proud, has been replaced by a shadow of controversy few other royals in modern history have faced. So surely, removing him from the line of succession would be the obvious next step. Right? As it turns out, the reality is nothing like the expectations. Recent statements from government officials confirmed what many suspected but few fully understood: there are absolutely no plans, none whatsoever, to remove Prince Andrew from the line of succession. Despite everything, despite public pressure, despite polls showing overwhelming support for removing him, Andrew's place remains untouchable. On paper, he stands exactly where he has always stood, firmly anchored in the official order of heirs to the British throne, and that news has left the public stunned. But the deeper you look into this, the more you realize it's not just a simple no, it's a revealing, eye-opening look into how the British monarchy actually works. Because the truth is that the line of succession isn't something the palace can adjust like a wardrobe change. It isn't based on popularity, public approval ratings, or moral standing. It is dictated by law, by constitutional frameworks older than most countries on earth, and by traditions that cannot be altered without monumental political action. The monarchy, for all its glitter and grandeur, is bound by rules far older and much stricter than most people realize. While titles can be removed, indeed, King Charles approved the removal of Andrew's military roles and royal patronages with a stroke of his pen, the line of succession is a completely different matter. Removing someone, even someone as controversial as Andrew, would require an Act of Parliament, followed by agreement across the Commonwealth realms where the British monarch is still the head of state. This means Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and several Caribbean nations would all need to approve changes. In other words, it's not just difficult. It's nearly impossible, and that's exactly why, according to government sources, the matter simply isn't being considered. It's not that officials approve of Andrew's behavior. It's not that they're protecting him. It's that the constitutional structure is so deeply set in stone that even the crown has limits. The government made it clear, adjusting the line of succession is such a massive undertaking that it will not be pursued unless the functioning of the monarchy itself is threatened. And here's the biggest twist of all: Prince Andrew's place in the line of succession poses no actual risk to the monarchy. Why? Because he is never, under any imaginable scenario, going to become king. He is so far down the line, eclipsed by King Charles, Prince William, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, and even Prince Harry and his children, that the possibility of his accession is practically zero. His position is symbolic, not consequential, but for many members of the public, symbolism matters. And that's where the real tension lies. Critics argue that even the symbolic inclusion of someone so scandalized in the royal line tarnishes the image of the crown. Supporters of constitutional purity argue that altering centuries-old laws because of one individual would set a dangerous precedent, one that risks politicizing the monarchy. And at the heart of all of this sits Prince Andrew, a man who has become both a cautionary tale and a constitutional puzzle. What's particularly interesting is how the palace has navigated this issue. King Charles has subtly but decisively shifted Andrew into the background of royal life. No balcony appearances. No public duties. No HRH. No military roles. No engagement with official work. Andrew's royal life is over, but his official position remains, and perhaps that's the most fascinating piece of all. Royal watchers often assume that the monarchy is a flexible institution shaped by tradition but guided by modern sensibilities. But this rare moment, reveals that the crown is far more rigid, far more structured, and far more legally restrained than people realize. It's a system where personal scandal cannot override constitutional design. It also speaks to the monarchy's deep desire to avoid opening any doors that lead toward politicization. If Parliament were to debate who should or should not remain in the line of succession, it could set off a chain reaction of future debates the monarchy would rather avoid entirely, and so the government's message is clear, no matter how controversial Andrew's past may be. No matter how far he has fallen in public opinion, and no matter how much his presence in the line of succession frustrates critics, there will be no change. But this revelation also reminds us of how the monarchy balances its ancient roots with its modern image. Behind the royal facade lies a system meticulously designed to endure, one built on stability, tradition, and continuity. A system that cannot be shaken by scandal, even when the scandal is enormous. In the end, Andrew's story is one of contradictions. A prince without titles. A royal without duties. A man stripped of his public role but anchored forever in the one place no one can remove him from, the bloodline. If you found this deep dive into one of the monarchy's most controversial truths insightful and captivating, make sure you like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more revealing royal stories. This is Crown Chronicles, where every twist in the royal world has a deeper story behind it, and we're here to uncover it all.